Hello there. Young lady, do your stuff.
This is Elvis, the ultimate fan channel, the global Elvis community fan channel.
She speaks the truth. Yes, she does. Hello, everyone. Nice to be here again. Thank you very, very much if you're joining me live, and if you're watching me on catch-up, you're welcome as well. Adverts knocked me off, lol. What adverts? Is there adverts on my show now, is there? Yeah, I think YouTube do sneak a few in sometimes. Sorry about that, but I suppose that's how they make their money. So hi to Chris and hi to Dave. They're both moderating for me today, and they will be helping me out when it comes to the quiz. And if anybody says anything naughty, they will be shaking their finger at them. But you're all very well behaved. If this is your first time here watching this stream, then I will tell you what you found. You found an Elvis channel that honors Elvis's life, career, his legacy, and it also has a lot of Elvis fun as well, because that's what it was all about. Elvis was all about having fun. He liked having fun, and we like to keep the thing going. And how do we do that? Well, we have a topic, as you can see, Elvis's movie years myth. I wanted to just highlight that this week. I just want to highlight something else as well. Okay, that's that. Lovely. So the movie years myth, we'll be coming to that shortly. This day in Elvis history, what was Elvis doing on the 9th of March down through the years? It's always very interesting. He's always up to something. Underrated Elvis song. You can send in the title of a song which you think is underrated, and I pick one, and mostly I agree with them. 9.5 times out of 10, I agree with the ones that you send in, that they are underrated. A song I wish Elvis had recorded. Dylan's World. Did Tracy get her prize yet, Steve? No, I haven't even told anybody what who the winner was. But you just let the cat out of the bag. I was going to come to that, actually. I will be telling everybody who the winner of the prize of the Fan of the Month for January was. Not January, I beg your pardon, February, because we're in March now, aren't we? That's kind of threw me. Dylan says, never mind. No, never mind. It doesn't matter. What else are we doing? We're doing Caption That Photo. Yes. We're doing Smoking Hot Photo, or what's become now known as the Swooner, which will become clear. And lots of other things. Oh, Hidden Elvis, of course. Dylan's Elvis Tales. Let's not forget Dylan's Elvis Tales. Dylan, you're not an idiot. You're far from an idiot. The Hidden Elvis, actually, I give you 4 clues throughout the show, and then you have to put them all together and tell me in the chat when I've given you the 4th clue what you think it is. Last week it was, I can't remember what it was last week, but it's normally, sometimes it's a place, it's a record. I think it was a record, wasn't it? I think it was Surrender, I believe. I think it was Surrender. Unless it's this week. I hope this week isn't Surrender and I've just gone and spoilt it. No, it's not. Unfortunately, I do have to start on a sad note. It is actually with great sadness that we learned during the week of the passing of Marion Koch, who was Elvis's nurse from 1975 up until about 1977, I believe. She was 98. By all accounts, a lovely lady. I'm sure she was. She wrote a book called I Called Him Babe, and she worked at the Baptist Memorial Hospital, which, of course, we know Elvis was admitted to from time to time. So, yes, a sad bit of news, that. Yeah, and also I was asked also to say hi to Shane Devine from Waterford. He gave me a ring this afternoon just after lunch, and he said he was having trouble subscribing to the channel, but he does watch, and that's why he doesn't actually comment, is because he can't get subscribed, because he, as far as I know, you need an email address to subscribe to a channel, and he doesn't actually have an email. But However, hi Shane, and thanks for watching. From Waterford, the same little lump of land that I'm on as well. So, without further ado, of course, I did mention Hidden Elvis, and we do have to start with clue number 1.
Hidden Elvis, clue number 1.
And the first clue is, you're going to love this, but don't tell me what the answer is yet. It's 1943, Boston, Massachusetts. Okay? 1943, Boston, Massachusetts. And Paul Gansky says, greetings to all. Hi, Paul. So if my moderators can stand by, it's Name the Elvis Movie. And again, basically what it is it's a screen grab, and you've got to tell me what Elvis movie it is. So this is the first one. And this, what do you think of that? Can anybody tell me? Oh my goodness me. Duncan, you were quick off the mark, as was Doreen. Beanie, hi Beanie. Dylan says Frankie and Johnny. A lot of people saying Spin Out. But, hi Duncan, good to see you here. And it was Spin Out. Yes. Oh, by the way, what colour will I use? I'll use green. I use green this week. Okay, so Duncan, you get this.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Yes. Duncan gets the first one. He gets the first. If you're, what does he say?
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Okay. Now, it is. I thought I'd kind of make some of them a little bit more difficult this week. But of course, Duncan didn't find that difficult at all. So what about this one? You can tell me what. This is an easy one. What movie this is? Doreen says, I thought I got it. No, well, I don't know whether you've got live chat or top chat selected, Doreen, but you do need live chat or all messages selected. Dylan says Kissing Cousins. Vincenzo says Clam Bake. Brian says Clam Bake. Susan. John Rowley says Tickle Me. A lot of people saying clam bake, and I've got to say that it is clam bake. Now, I was wondering whether that would throw you with the beautiful Shelley Fabaret there, but no, it didn't, and it definitely didn't throw Vincenzo. So Vincenzo, you get this.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Well done, Vincenzo. Yes, clam bake. Okay, now another what I thought when I was doing these this week, when I was going through all the things I should do, and I came down, I said, right, I set aside an hour or so to do the quiz one evening, and I thought, let's do this one and see if this trips anybody up. What movie is this from? Okay. The scarf through me, says Dibaluchtis. Oh, now. A lot of people saying King Creole. Jailhouse Rock. Yes. Now, I actually thought that a lot of people would think it was Jailhouse Rock. And I'll tell you the reason why I thought people would think it was Jailhouse Rock is because they would think that that was Judy Tyler. But maybe the giveaway is Elvis's hairstyle. I don't know. You can't see much of it. And it is King Creole. And it is Dylan. Dylan, you're off the mark.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Don't forget, Dylan is coming up later with the Dylan's Tale. Looking forward to that one. And Vincenzo says, well done, Dylan. Yes. Carolyn Jones passed away. Yes, she did. Correct. Right, now, let's do number 4. Oh yeah, this is an easy one. I'm gonna stand by, moderators, because you're gonna get a lot of correct answers on this. Go. Way too easy. Oh, look at that. Banjo, Paul, Duncan, Dylan, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Vincenzo again. But it was Dylan. Dylan is redeeming himself now. Yes, it happened at the World's Fair. Happy ending.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, that's the end of It Happened at the World's Fair. Happy ending. And then we've got this one, the penultimate one, number 5. Now, which movie is that from? Dylan nearly put Viva Las Vegas. Oh, right, okay. Too many words to type. Yeah, I know, yeah. A lot of people saying Speedway. A lot of people saying Speedway. The only thing is, who was the first person to say Speedway? Banjo Paul, according to Chris. And I think Dave is going to tell me Banjo Paul as well, because I actually saw Banjo Paul's name first. And it is Speedway. I wasn't sure whether the helmet and you couldn't see his hair and hairstyle and all that. You might think it was something like, Viva Las Vegas or something else where he's a Speedway driver. But anyway, well done, Banjo Paul, and it was Speedway.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Yeah, well done. Speedway. Now, the last one. Again, maybe this might catch people out. I don't know, but here we are. That is it. What do you think of that? You can only see the back of Elvis's head there. Hello, Helen Murray. Hi, Edwidge. Purple Green. A lot of people saying Flaming Star, or as Banjo Paul put, Foaming Star. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one yet. Okay. It is, believe it or not. So it did work. My cunning ploy did work, because some people have put Flaming Star, and it is actually Wild in the Country. And it was Susan. Well done, Susan. So, Susan, you are the first. Great help there from Dave and Chris. Susan, Wild in the Country.
If you're the result of resisting the encroachment of our civilized world, I'm all for it.
Yes, that was fun. That was big fun. What I might do is sort of do more of those where you can't quite see Elvis's face, or something like that one as well. See if I can catch you out. That one there, of course, with it being Shelley. Although somebody said it looked like Sheridan Smith, which is an English actress that we know. We've been in that barn. Paul, I don't believe you. You've been in that barn. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Paul Gansky has actually been in that barn. Amazing. Were the sheep there? Okay. So, I might try and do ones which are a little bit more trickier. Although... this one didn't catch, that one didn't, King Creole. I thought that might catch people out with Jailhouse Rock, but a lot of people got King Creole. So well done, everybody that played along and got them correct. Now I'm just setting up my my topic. Now, this topic struck me during the week. Elvis's movie years myths. And I'll tell you why I started thinking about it is because Juan said, why don't you do something about myths and things like that? And he listed a few myths that maybe I should cover. But this wasn't one of them, believe it or not. Juan didn't actually mention the movie years, but it sparked something in my head about it. And basically what it is all the myths that we hear about from 1960 to 1969 and all this, Elvis went completely lost in Hollywood and all that malarkey, and he didn't do any studio recording and he didn't do any live, concerts and all this and all that. Well, let me just tell you that, first of all, we've got back in Memphis, 1960, and I'll also tell you what the chart positions were. In the US, it was number 2, and in the UK, it was number 1. Well done, UK. And it was classified as gold. So good start to the 1960s. His Hand in Mine, again 1960. In the US, 13. In the UK, number 3. Again, well done UK. And it is deemed platinum. Okay, ranked platinum. Something for Everybody. Actually, I should be showing you these as I'm talking, shouldn't I? So there's Elvis's back. Then Something for Everybody. Number 1 in the US and number 2 in the UK, and gold. Okay, so far we've got 2 golds and 1 platinum. There's Something for Everybody. One of my favorites here, 1962, Potluck. Number 4 in the US and number 1 in the UK. Just look at that hair. Then we've got Elvis for Everyone. Strange album, 1965. US number 10, UK number 8. Again, well done, UK. Then we've got, of course, How Great Thou Art, 1967. Number 18 in the US, number 11 in the UK. 3 times platinum. And then we got From Elvis in Memphis. Okay, and that's 1969, of course. The US, number 13. The UK, number 1. Again, well done, the UK. And again, it was classified as gold. Then we've got the compilation albums. 1963, we had, that's gone round to Elvis is back again. We've got Volume 3, Elvis Gold Records in 1963. That was position number 3 in the US, and number 6 in the UK. And then we've got Volume 4, Elvis's Gold Records, and that was 1968, and it went to number 33 in the US. It didn't chart in the UK. All right, so he drew a bit of a blank with that. Okay, so far, I think I've done a good job in sort of how can I put this? Disproving the myths that it was just movies and soundtrack records. Okay, all Elvis did between 1960 and 1969 was soundtrack records and movies. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums. 1, 2, 3 gold, 1 platinum, and 1 3 times platinum. The Volume 3, actually, Elvis Golden Records, I forgot to tell you, that was a platinum as well. And the Volume 4 was gold. So that's another gold and another platinum. Then we've got, how about, what about the myth of only doing soundtrack recordings from 1960 to 1969? Okay, well, I think I can knock that on the head as well, because what he did was, okay, he went into RCA Studio B on January the 12th, 1964. 1964, remember that, okay? And he did Memphis, Tennessee, Ask Me, and It Hurts Me. Okay, and then he went into Studio B, same studio, on May 25th and 26th, 1966. Obviously for the How Great Thou Art recording sessions. So from January 64 to May 66 is approximately a 27-month period when he only recorded soundtrack material. Hardly the decade that the media try and make people believe it is. Okay, 27 months, that's all it was. He went between, he did only recording soundtracks. He didn't do it for the 9 years that people try and make out. And what about live performances? Well, there's one behind me, of course, and then there's this one, which is Hawaii. Okay, the Memphis Charity Show on February the 26th, 1961. He did a 3 p.m. and an 8:30 p.m. show at the Memphis Ellis Auditorium in Memphis, Tennessee. And there's some tickets there. Imagine having one of those tickets. Can you imagine? February 25th, 1961. Okay. Then, just exactly a month later, we had the Block Arena in Honolulu. Okay, March 25th, 1961. Only one performance. He didn't do an afternoon and an evening. And it was obviously for the USS Arizona Memorial Fund benefit. Okay. Again, imagine having a ticket for that. And did I see, actually, the price of one of the tickets was $100. I think it was, there it is, main floor, $100 section. $100, obviously, was a lot of money in 1961. So they were trying to raise as much money as they could for the US Arizona. So that's basically the bee in my bonnet that I had this week about how, people try, the media more than anybody else try and make out, and they always try and fool new fans. So I wanted new fans to understand that, he wasn't in the wilderness as people try and make out between 1960 and 1969. He wasn't just doing movies and movie soundtracks, as all that information that I've just listed there proves. So I think I've blown the myth of the movie years out of the water. I really do. And if there's anybody that wants to back me up and give me a phone call about that, you can, of course, get into the Discord queue. But what are we going to do? We're going to do a poll. And the poll actually is... You see, this is a bit of a movie theme tonight. We've done the movies on the quiz. We've now busted the movie myths, and we're going to do a movie poll. And the movie poll is, which is your favourite out of these 4 Elvis movies? And I've kind of tried to keep them in the one genre. Okay, so it is Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, or Charo. Okay, so... you can, hopefully, yes, there it is. You can vote away on that for the next little while. Which is your favourite out of these? Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, Charo. And for once, I don't know, I can't see a clear winner there. I really can't. You know, most weeks I can say, well, option number one is going to win, or number 2 option is, but there I cannot see a clear winner. So I'm going to be interested to see when I close the poll later, near the end of the show, which comes out on top. LMT, FS, WITC, or Charo. Okay, so, and before we go any further, I've got to do another one of these.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 2.
Hidden Elvis clue number 2 is right. And it is first 1994. First 1994. Okay, I've got you thinking now, haven't I? I'm pretty sure I've got you thinking. Can I collapse that? No, I can't, unfortunately. Okay, right. Right, so that's the Hidden Elvis clue number 2. And do you know what we have to do? I'm looking forward to this. We have to do this.
It's time once again for Dylan's Elvis Tale.
And I'm wondering, can you hear me? Whoops. I'm wondering, can you hear me, young sir?
I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, I've got a problem with my jingle here. It keeps playing over and over. So I think I might I might just leave it alone.
Well, the more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Glitches. That's what we call it. So how are you today, young sir?
What? I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this tale because I'm a big Beach Boy. I'm a big Beach Boy fan as well. So
I'm a big Beach Boy fan too.
Yeah, not as big as Elvis, of course. Nobody is big as Elvis, but yeah, I'm still a Beach Boy fan as well. So, right, will we dive into this Dylan's Elvis tale?
No.
Oh, we won't. Oh, we've got something to say before.
Yeah, because remember, I messaged you this afternoon saying, I've got to tell you this.
Oh, yes.
So this isn't a plug, by the way, I promise.
Plug away.
Coming up, a Facebook show in April called Elvis Through the Years.
Okay.
Which is basically what it sounds like is me doing 3 sets, 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Okay.
And so this morning, I was decided, well, I'm going to refresh myself on some of the songs because I haven't sung some of these in a long time. And one of the songs in the 70s set is Bridge. And so I was there singing the song, and I was there going, whoever made this track must have been drunk or something because these are not the words.
Which track is it again?
Bridge.
Oh, Bridges. Oh, Bridge. Yeah, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, can I read to you what this says, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because oh my god, this is something. Hang on, let's see. We will get to the tail, I promise. Let's see. I just needed to tell you because this is funny. This. Okay, bridge. Okay, yeah. Right. Okay. So the normal word is what is it? Oh yeah. When tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Or when time gets rough. Right. That's the word.
Okay.
The words, according to Karaoke JP, is I know your sorrow all through this world.
Okay.
Which is not the words.
No, nowhere near.
No. Which is getting my little poor brain confused. I'm like, well, I need to sing the right words, but if I look at that, I'm going to be singing the wrong words. So I need to sing the words.
You'll need a little bit of paper on your knee or something with the correct words, and then just look down when that piece comes on.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell everybody that, and I probably bored everybody away, but I just wanted to tell you that.
And have you got a date for the show yet?
April the 12th.
Okay.
12th.
April the 12th.
Some of the best soon.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll remind everybody before anyway, nearer the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So this tale, yeah?
Beach Boys, yeah.
Yeah, great.
So, there are 4 sets of pictures, only because when I was doing my research, there was 2 contradicting reports. One that said 1969 and one that said 1975. But I believe that it's 1975 only because of the description of Brian, because it says an overweight bearded man. Now, in 1969, as you can see, Brian isn't overweight or bearded.
Oh, bearded, no. Yeah.
And quite good.
Yeah, he is quite slim.
But in 75, he's kind of overweight and he's got a beard.
Mm-hmm.
So, based off my genius judgment, I would say this in 1975. So, anyway, here we go. I've kept you in suspense for too long. So, the Beach Boys are in the studio recording an album. And our friend Mr. Presley is next door recording an album. And someone says to Brian, hey, Elvis is next door. Do you want to go say hey? And Brian's like, yeah, I'll go. So he goes to see Elvis. Now, bear in mind, Brian Wilson's like one of our greatest composers of all time, right?
Yes.
He's like probably like Mozart level. He comes face to face with Elvis. He freezes up, right? He's shell-shocked. He doesn't know what to say. And Elvis is going, are you going to say something, son? And Brian's like, oh, hey, Elvis. I'm like, hey, man, how you going? Yeah, I'm doing good. Hey, Elvis, I've got this song for you. Well, I've got all the songs written here, son, but if, pass it on to me, I'll maybe do it next time. Okay. So then Brian knew that Elvis loved karate. So for some reason, maybe because he was in his mental state at this point, he decided to karate chop Elvis's arm. I don't know why. So Elvis, with his karate training, whips his arm away. Now Brian is scared for his life, going, what's going on here? Why has he just chopped me away? And the guys are going, no, don't worry, this isn't just playing around. He's not mad. He's just training with karate. He's like, oh, okay. And then they parted ways and never met again.
I can understand, Brian being just not knowing what to say, just being completely shell shocked, because I think we'd all been like that if we'd have met Elvis in person.
Yeah. So there's my little tale.
And it sounds like it was probably the Today Sessions, Elvis Today Sessions in March 1975, doesn't it?
Yeah, and maybe, now you're probably the expert, was it the Holland Sessions maybe for the Beach Boys that they were doing at the time?
Not too sure. Not too sure. I'd have to check that up. But if it was 75, it was definitely the Today Sessions, because he only went into the studio once, didn't he, in 1975?
Yeah. So that's my little.
Are you gonna tease one for next week?
Yeah. So what I've realised is that for some reason, every time I do a jumpsuit one or a 2-piece one, those are the ones that go over well the most.
Okay.
So let's do a jumpsuit one. I don't know which one it's going to be yet, but I'm definitely going to do a jumpsuit one.
Okay. And what about the poll? Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, or Charo?
Flaming Star.
Flaming Star. Okay. All right.
Because it left me thoroughly confused at the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, did he die? Did he not die? Like, what's going on here?
Well, that's the way I think you're supposed to interpret it your own way. I think he just rode off into the sunset. It was a bit like, it was a bit like Shane, wasn't it? We don't know whether Shane died or not.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Alan Ladd, come back, Shane.
Yeah.
So
And then
yeah.
for the topic.
Oh yeah, for the topic, yeah.
Well, I've always had this theory, right? That, well, not theory, but this thing, right? That people can say what they like about the movies, that they were daft and they were this and that. But listen, from 1961 to 68, when he was away from the stage, the movies and the soundtracks is what kept him relevant.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for the movies, who knows what could have happened? Because 1960, 1961 was a big year because he'd just come back, right? 62, there was a big risk that he could have faded off into, obscurity.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the movies, so that's why they were there, because to keep people occupied, and it didn't matter how daft they got later on. People ate them up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, didn't he say in that 1962 interview on the set of It Happened at the World's Fair, that I'd be a fool to change things when they're so successful, and at the time they were still successful. I mean, the only reason, their hands were forced in 1965, 66 because they had started to tail off, hadn't they? The money wasn't coming in as much, and the soundtracks weren't selling as well, were they?
Well, no, but people absolutely loved it.
Oh yeah,
which is why in '68, right when he came back to performing, it was a genius move, because even though people loved to see him sing in the films, people wanted to see what he did best, which is be on stage.
Yeah, but don't forget, it was the only way people outside of the US could see Elvis.
Yeah.
Unless of course they travelled to the US, but then they couldn't see him after 1961 anyway, because he didn't do any concerts after 61.
No, yeah, that's nothing as well. And also, the other week, my mum was telling me that, like, when she was, well, not a little bit younger, she said that, I think she said every Saturday afternoon they used to run the movies on like a marathon.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not know that.
Yeah. But I mean, my topic was more sort of, the way that the media tried to say that from 60 to 69, he did nothing else but. I mean, no, I agree with what you're saying, but the topic was also, he did nothing but the movies and the soundtracks, but he didn't, I mean, he had 9 albums, some that went gold and platinum.
And he won a Grammy.
He did. He won a Grammy, for how great they were. He had two or even 3 concerts if you class the Hawaii one as being 2, So, the Memphis one was 2, wasn't it? And the Hawaii was just 1. Yeah. So that's 3 performances. So I don't know. I don't know why the media always say that's it. He was lost in Hollywood. No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
No. All right. Okay. Next week, I'll look forward to it. All the best. Bye.
Join us again next week for another Dylan's Elvis tale.
And jingle, please do not play up like you did this week. Next week, okay? Or I'll have to change it back to the other one. Vincenzo, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you? So, are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me which is your favorite out of Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, or Charo?
Flaming Star.
Oh, you picked the same one as Dylan.
Yeah.
Am I led to believe then that Flaming Star might win? Because I was saying earlier on, it's hard to pick an outright winner from those 4. I think anyway. Usually, you know which one is going to win, but this week I don't know.
You forgot Guitar Man in U.S. Mail.
Yeah.
You recorded those songs in the...
That's right. Yeah, he recorded U.S. Mail and Guitar Man. I forgot those. Yeah, the Guitar Man sessions as well. He wasn't just doing. I mean, what did I say? For the only time he wasn't recording studio material was for a 27-month period between January 1964 and May 66. So apart from that, it's all blown out of all proportion. All right, so nice. I
became a fan because of an Elvis movie after I saw Fun in Acapulco.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. So we've got that. We've got that to be thankful for as well. It's people becoming fans after seeing an Elvis movie. All right, Vincenzo.
You, Steve.
All the best. Bye. Bye. Yeah, I mean, there's hard and fast evidence that, you know, the movies, for all the rubbish that spoke about them, people like Vincenzo became fans after seeing an Elvis movie. So let's not forget that. And let's not forget that we have Brent on the line. Hi, Brent.
Steve, thank you so much for today's topic. The Elvis world needed this.
I know this is going to be a great call.
Oh, my God. You know what? First of all, everything you mentioned, awesome. But I'd also like to add, people who are not into the Elvis deep dive are totally unaware of the Lost Album Sessions in May of 1963, which, you know, they were kind of like the diaspora or whatever, you know, the Lost Tribe, because some of those songs ended up on soundtracks to beat them up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those were some amazing sessions. Please don't drag that string around, never ending. Some great songs there. I think it would have made a great album if they just stuck with it and put it all together. But that's what history went its own way. But not only that, but for those people that act like it's only movies, I don't know. There was something called, something for everybody, potluck. I don't know.
Exactly. And what I listed, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums there between 1960 and 1969. There was a 3 times platinum in there. There was a platinum. There was 2 golds. There was another platinum, which was the compilation album. There was a gold, which was another compilation album as well. You know, it's just, and you know, that I really wanted to get over the fact that it was only a 27-month period when he didn't do anything but soundtracks. And everybody thinks he only did soundtracks between 1960 and 69. You know?
Yeah, and 65 was actually, I think, the only year where he did not put out a non-soundtrack song or record non-soundtrack material. Because think about it, 64, like you said in that January session, you know, Ask Me and Memphis, Tennessee, and It Hurts Me. And then jump to 66, there was some 67 stuff. Of course, 68, mammoth year. And 69, as the Italians would say, forget about it. I mean, it was just all out. And I think it's the thing is we're having to paddle backward because we're trying to fight this narrative that is so ubiquitous out there about this thing that if we don't do like what you're doing and everything like that, people are going to go and believe that the major narrative out there.
Yeah. Yeah, almost like the 1960s were a complete waste because all he did was movies and soundtracks, which is complete and utter fallacy.
No, and I think what they do is you know, when you think of documentaries, they try to add like a kind of fiction aspect to it, a narrative, meaning that you got to have the first act, the second act, and the third act wouldn't be triumphant if you didn't have the second act have the worst of circumstances rain down on the protagonist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this was real life.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't a tragedy. They try and paint it out to be anyway. Listen,
No, it wasn't.
Continuing the movie theme, which is your favorite out of the 4? Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, or Charo?
Okay, have you ever had it where you're looking at an Elvis movie and you're like, this technically isn't the best movie, but it has personal kind of connection with yourself, and you're like, so I know it's not the best of his movies, but it's close to my heart, and that's Love Me Tender, because I just think you're just seeing this young kid at the whole beginning of, you know, he had no idea what was ahead of him. And I don't know why, but to this day, that ending with that superimposed image of him singing as they're leaving the little graveyard.
Yeah.
And then how he cracks that smile at the end is just priceless.
Yeah, I agree. I read recently that he didn't.
It's not the best.
No, I read recently that he didn't like it. He thought it was rushed, and it was just something they rushed him into because of, you know, he was so popular in 1956. Right at the very, very end, August, September, they thought, wow, we better put this guy in a movie and let's make some money out of it, because he was only introducing Elvis Presley, wasn't he? He was third in the titles, I believe, wasn't he?
And if Elvis were not in it, it would have been just another forgotten run-of-the-mill movie of its time.
Yeah, the Reno brothers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, Brent. Nice to speak to you.
Thanks. Great show, Steve.
All the best. Cheers. Bye. Yeah, it's a good point. So Yeah, Brent picked Love Me Tender. So that's 2 for Flaming Star and 1 for Love Me Tender. I will tell you what I picked near the end of the show. That looks like it's all the calls for now anyway, which means, of course, we move on to...
It's time now for This Day in Elvis History.
I love this. I love telling you what Elvis was doing down through the years and showing you photographs. But before we dive into the history, please keep voting on that. Which is your favourite out of these 4 movies? Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, and Charo. So far, the callers have voted for Flaming Star, and then Brent was Love Me Tender. But I don't know. I don't. I think I know which one isn't going to get many votes. But I'll leave that to you. Yeah, I'll leave that to you. So, 9th of March, 1955, and it's Elvis performed at the Armory, Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And there he is, leaning his hand on Bob Neal. And have we got another photograph, or is it just one photograph? No, it's just one photograph, but I've got another coming up behind it. In person, Elvis Presley, Scotty and Bill. Fun, music and jokes. Poplar Bluff Armory. Okay, March the 9th. It looks like 8 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. Okay, that was 1955. 1956, Elvis spent $103 at Lansky Brothers clothing store. He performed at the Chickasaw Ballroom, Hotel Chiska, Memphis. Okay, now we know that as the place where Bob Neal, not Bob Neal, I've just mentioned Bob Neal. Not Sam Phillips. My head's gone. Dewey Phillips. Goodness me. Dewey Phillips, the disc jockey, on the mezzanine floor, the magazine floor, as he called it, played That's All Right. So, and there's Elvis in the ballroom at the Chiska Ballroom. Now, that was this day in 1956. 1958, of course, we've got King Creole production, Elvis being kissed there. And then we've got 1960. We've got the movie Jailhouse Rock was re-released in honor of Elvis's return from service in the U.S. Army. 1962. Elvis went backstage at the Ellis Auditorium in Memphis on the night of March 9th, 1962, to say hello to some of his friends in the Holiday on Ice cast. The skating star, Dorothy Goose, promptly put him to work holding yarn. Elvis had visited Holiday on Ice people there during their last 3 annual visits. There's the lady putting Elvis to good use with yarn. 1963, Elvis's ballad, They Remind Me Too Much of You, hits number 53 in the US. They Remind Me Too Much of You. One Broken Heart for Sale, the B-side. And also, of course, Fun in Acapulco production. Then we've got 1964. We have whoops, gone too far, Steve. Roustabout. Elvis reported to MGM for pre-production on Hear 'em Scare 'em in 1965. After wardrobe tests, Elvis recorded vocal tracks for the instrumental backups that were made in Nashville. Let's see. Hear 'em Holiday, vocal overdub. Mirage, vocal overdub. And Go East, Young Man, a vocal overdub. And then the following year, we've got Spin Out production with that great guitar. And 1967. Now, this is a bit of a worrying one because we know what this led to, actually. Elvis fell in his bathroom, hitting his head and allegedly losing consciousness. The colonel arrived and a doctor was called who came back with a portable X-ray machine. Elvis had no fractures, thankfully, but the event did cause another delay in the production for Clambake. The event provided the Colonel with a reason to reprimand the entire group, Larry Geller most of all. Parker forced Elvis to burn his various religious books and was certainly part of the shift of Elvis's image from single man to married man. That was on this day in 1967. 1968, we've got Live a Little, Love a Little pre-production with the wonderful... I can't even look at that. Michelle Carey. The wonderful Michelle Carey. And then we've got 1974. Elvis performed at the Coliseum, Charlotte, North Carolina, 2:30 and 8:30. And we've got some really good shots here of Elvis at the Coliseum in Charlotte. Wonderful, wonderful photographs. Mrs. EAP says cold shower for Steve. Yes, for Michelle Carey. Okay. So that was in 1974. This a bit of a sad one, this one. Elvis in Hawaii, which would have turned out to be his final vacation. Here he is by the pool. Here he is playing touch football. I think you're right, Vincenzo. It is a sunburst, yeah. Some great shots here of Elvis playing touch football. Yeah, Dylan says he looked great in these Hawaii shots. He certainly did. I agree, Dylan. Just like any normal tourist, just messing around with the football. So that was on this day in 1977 in Hawaii. Now we have to do another one of these.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 3.
Okay, clue number 3 is 2nd, 1999. Sally says, love seeing those photographs. He looks relaxed and happy. Yes, he was having a great time. Everybody attests to the fact that he had a great time in Hawaii in 1977. It's just a pity he got a couple of grains of sand in his eye, and Dr. Nick thought that maybe he'd scratch his cornea and he'd be better off back home convalescing. So it was kind of a shortened vacation. As far as I remember, when I spoke to Ginger, she said that he had a great time. Let me just have a look. Had a great time. Now, that's Hidden Elvis clue number 3, 2nd, 1999. We move on to a song that I wish Elvis had recorded. And this was suggested by Vincenzo. Yes, hi Vincenzo. And he did it via our Discord group. And it's Southern Nights. Yeah. It's a song written and performed by American musician Alan Toussaint from his 1975 album Southern Nights, and later recorded by American country music singer Glenn Campbell. It was the first single released from Campbell's 1977 album Southern Nights and reached number 1 on 3 separate US charts. The lyrics of Southern Nights were inspired by childhood memories Toussaint had of visiting relatives in the Louisiana backwoods, which often entailed storytelling under star-filled nighttime skies. When Campbell heard Toussaint's version, he immediately identified with the lyrics, which reminded him of his own youth growing up on the Arkansas farm. In October 1976, Campbell recorded the song with slightly modified lyrics. In 1977, the song was nominated for Song of the Year by the Country Music Association. Released as a single by Campbell in January 1977, Southern Nights immediately caught on with both country and pop audiences. The song featured a unique guitar lick that Campbell had learned from friend Jerry Reed, there's the Elvis connection. In late March, Southern Nights spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard magazine Hot Country Singles chart, making it Campbell's 5th and final number 1 country hit. In late April, the track reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 pop chart, marking Campbell's 2nd and last number 1 pop hit. Okay, so I wonder, you know, it was saying about how sort of from his youth under star-filled skies in the South, I wonder whether this would have struck a note with Elvis as well, and he could have recorded it. Who knows? But anyway, that's this week's I Wish Elvis Had Recorded, Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. And thanks for sending that in, Vincenzo. And as always, of course, you can send in your suggestions as well for songs you wished Elvis had recorded. Send them to me the normal way. You can send them to me on Discord, or because we have a thread that runs for I Wish Elvis Had Recorded, or you can send them to me on the... no, it's there. I moved it from up above. It's there. elvistheultimatefanchannel@gmail.com. And thanks, Vincenzo, for suggesting that. Now we have this.
It's time now for Caption the Photo.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what Elvis was doing here, but I think this was taken backstage at the Tupelo concert, Welcome Home Elvis, in September 1956. And these are some of the ones that I liked. Didn't quite make the most thumbs up, but they call me the Memphis Flash because that's how I rock. There's no room to rumba in a sports car, but it's perfectly fine right here. Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people sway back and forth. I just sort of do them all together, I guess. That's actually a direct quote. Elvis actually said that. So that's a clever one. Hey, who took my guitar? Follow me, guys. I got all the moves. Up above my head is a hat in the air. But the winner, as voted for by you, is Brent Cooper. Thanks, Brent, for sending this in. And this is how you do the Tupelo Shuffle. Yeah, very clever because, of course, as we know, that was taken backstage at the Tupelo concert, I believe. Now, don't forget that you can still vote on which is your favourite out of these 4 movies. Love Me Tender, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, or Charo. And you'll find that at the top of the live chat box. If you click on it, it'll drop down and give you those options. So I'll leave that open for another few seconds while I do underrated Elvis song. I've done Elvis, Hidden Elvis, clue number 3. So I'm going to do, I'm going to do underrated Elvis song. And Susan, thank you very much for sending this in via Discord. And this is a good one as well. Yeah, definitely underrated. And I'm not sure whether maybe newer fans might even know this song. And it's got a bit of a story behind it as well. Excuse me while I take a drink. That's better. It's Suppose. And Susan told me, I think it's a beautiful song and it's underrated. This lovely melody and lyric written by George Gershwin and Sylvia D could easily be interpreted as a gospel song. Elvis's voice is sublime on this song. Some folks have even compared it to John Lennon's Imagine. So this is how it started. The basic home recording of Suppose features Elvis's voice and piano by Charlie Hodge and was recorded sometime in late 1966, early 1967 at 10550 Rocker Place, Bel Air. And they did 2 takes of it in the Rocker Place. They did Suppose number 1 and Suppose number 2. Almost identical in length. The first one was 3:01, 3 minutes 1 second, and the second one was 3:02. Then what they did was March 20th, 1967, they took the tape into Studio B, Nashville, of course, good old RCA Studio B. And he got all the usual folks together like Scotty and Chip Young and DJ Fontana, Murray Buddy Harmon, Bob Moore, David Briggs, Charlie McCoy, Peter Drake, the Jordanaires, of course, Millie Kirkham. And they recorded overdubs and so forth and did a little bit of tinkering on the vocal. And they used the supposed number one, which was 3 minutes and 1 second in length. And that's the first recording. And then in June 1967, he did two versions of Suppose, a long version and a short version, which appeared on the Speedway soundtrack. Okay, so the short version is just one take. He nailed it in one take. And then that's the long version, 3 minutes. And then the short version, 2 minutes, 1 second, he did 7 takes. So that is quite an interesting story. You've got a home recording, and then you've got a professional recording as well done for the Speedway soundtrack. Thanks to Susan for suggesting that as an underrated song. It most certainly is. And one that I enjoy listening to very, very much. Now, let me know your comments, what you think in the box below. Of course, I'll leave a link for Suppose as well. And I'll also leave a link for the I Wish Elvis Had Recorded song as well. Now, let's close the poll. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, no surprises there, actually, I don't think. Because it's come out at Flaming Star 32, Wild in the Country 29, Love Me Tender 23, and Charo, poor old Charo, only 14%. I expected Charo to be the last, but I wasn't sure how Flaming Star, Wild in the Country, and Love Me Tender would fare out. If it was up to me, I would vote for Flaming Star. I would be in the majority there. I would be in the 32%. Thanks to everybody that... it looks like Chris had to kick somebody out, unfortunately. Thanks for doing that, Chris. It's not easy for me to keep my eye on the live chat when I'm doing all these other things as well. So thanks for that, Chris. And thanks to everybody that voted on the poll. Now, what have we got to do? We've got to do this.
Hidden Elvis, fourth and final clue.
And the fourth and final clue is the man who invented rock and roll. Now, Sally says, Charo was good, loved, Elvis looked gorgeous, but I voted Flaming Star. Yeah, he looked great with the beard, didn't he? Absolutely great. Now, can anybody tell me what the Hidden Elvis is? We've got 1943, Boston, Massachusetts. We've got the first 1994, second 1999, and finally the man who invented rock and roll. And Vio, well done Vio, and well done Jill Brett, because you're in there straight away with Peter Guralnick. Well done. It was, and Mrs. EAP Elaine as well, Peter Guralnick. I think he was born in 1943 in Boston, Massachusetts. The first volume of his great biography on Elvis, Last Train to Memphis, was in 1994. He followed it up with The Unmaking of Elvis Presley, Careless Love, in 1999. And finally, he also wrote a book, The Man Who Invented Rock and Roll. Vincenzo says Peter Guralnick as well. So that was this week's Hidden Elvis. I hope you enjoyed listening to the clues and maybe thinking, I don't know what that is. Maybe I should make it easier next week. Maybe that was a little bit too oblique for somebody. Looking forward to Guralnick's new book in August. Yes, Tracy. Now, I've also got to announce the winner of February's Fan of the Month. And it is, she's just actually made a comment there, actually. It's you, Tracy. Actually, it was a draw, okay, between Tracy and Dylan. But Dylan, the gentleman he is, says, please, 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 I'd like to step aside and give it to Tracy. So what a gentleman. What a gentleman. So actually, Dylan almost let the cat out of the bag at the start of the show, but I don't think many people noticed. But yes, Tracy, if you want to send me an email and let me know, are you a DVD person or a Blu-ray person or a CD person or something like that, and I'll get a prize to you. And congratulations for being the winner of February's Fan of the Month. And of course, we're doing a Fan of the Month for March. So keep answering those questions, and it could be your name I'm mentioning next time. Kathleen says, good job, Tracy, and thank you, Dylan. Yes, Dylan is a gentleman, a real gentleman. Now, we've got this, haven't we?
Oh, he's so hot.
Or should I say the swooner? Of course, don't forget, you can join our Discord channel, and this is what we do. One of the threads is Elvis picture of the day, and as you can see, we get some really, really good entries, and there is a invite below in the comments section of this video if you want to click on that, and you can join the Discord server. Now, don't forget, you can also send me in your
Oh, he's so hot.
or something similar to that. You can record it and then send it in to me on a voice note or something like that if you want to be.
Oh, he's so hot.
Now, this is a swooner, and this is a double swooner, okay? And the reason why I say a double swooner is because I can imagine ladies sort of going like this, swooning to the one side, and then when they wake up with the smelling salts, they look and they swoon to the other side. So a double swooner coming up is this one. Can you imagine you sitting next to the stage in the 68 TV special, and then Elvis looking down at you like that? Hey, baby. What do you think of that? It's a definite swooner. I'm gonna maybe record a new jingle. And oh, Jill says phew. Gracie says, oh my goodness. Yes. Beanie says, Lord help me. Edward says, sexy handsome. Good grief, I just choked on my cup of tea. Says Sally. Definitely double swooning. I'm gone, thud. Yeah. The hair is something else. Yes, the hair is something else. Steve, that's what I want for my prize. Ah, right. Okay. If only I could. Sorry, Tracy. Unfortunately, no. My knees are weak. My heart is racing, says Teresa. He was so hot at that concert. Vio says he is looking at me. Of course he is, Vio. Yes. 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 He's looking down and thinking, wow, Vio, what a lady. Be still my beating heart, says Helen Murray. Purple says, apple of my eyes. Yes. He did. He looked otherworldly during 1968. Dylan says, I'm a dude and my heart is racing. Yeah, yeah. Boy, this suit is hot, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's what he said. Right, so it's over to Elvis.
All right, let's wrap it up and get out of here.
Thanks to everybody that called in. Thanks to everybody that took part in the quiz. Congratulations to Tracy for being last month's winner. And thanks to Dylan for passing it on to her. We're going to do it all again next week. Much more Elvis fun. But until next week, it's over to Al.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.